The antidote.
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 Y estás escuchando The Antidote.
The antidote.
The antidote.
The antidote.
You're listening to The Antidote with Dave Hawkins.
With Christian music that doesn't suck.
Keep your microchips out of my kid's skin. Keep the chemicals out of my oxygen. Keep the GMO out of my bloodstream. Keep it all fields and your war machine. Must we be the first and the strongest? Industry and military complex. You can't take the profits out of context. You can't love mercy if you love conquest. I'm not joking here. Something's broken here. I just hope it's clear that you're smoking this. That you're stoking fear. They're just racketeers. It's a thin veneer. They're just tickling ears. Strong man said let's steal their oil and they cheered him on. Strong man said let's scorch the soil of the children. But strong man, why you celebrate the talk of war crimes that don't belong? Man, I'm not a fan of barrel bombs and landmines. Demigods like demagogues, like warlords and white collar frauds. In New York suits on camouflage. Either way it looks the same, it's a corruption, it's a con job. Why are we so warlike? Why are we so warlike? Clear cut, landfill, oil spill, strip mine. I'm draining out the essence of my soul through a pipeline. So more like a flood going toxic from the start. It's oil and not blood flowing through your dark heart. Us the justice here. They're just profiteers. Special interests got their ears. But we need our opiates and our titanium. We displace the masses for cocaine and uranium. Building industry on the backs of the exiles, me enslaved. Textiles just like a back in the good old days. Is this a blood diamond? I can't tell the old. Blood minerals are in my cell phone. How did we accumulate such wealth? Well, the war criminals myself. Oh. Why am I bringing it up again and again? I give it to me the sugar cane. It's still the same. We're looking the other way today. It feels like we've forgotten about the demand. Be no need for supply. There's blood on your hands, man, and there's a blank in your eye. You don't look a thing like Jesus Christ to me. You look like self-righteous apathy. You look like entitlement and supremacy. You tread on the weak to defend the wealthy. Talk so casually of endless battles, factions and schisms. Can't you see the casualties of your hyper-nationalism?
Thanks for coming to The Antidote. I'm Dave Hawkins. I've really gotten into that song, Warlike, from Remedy Drive's latest release, The North Star. It speaks about the wealthy first world taking forcefully whatever it wants, and don't we know that's a fact? As I mentioned, that song is new, and so are the rest of the song on tonight's playlist. One of those songs come from the local Peterborough talent of Aid in Effect, and the band is here live in the studio with me. Guys, good to have you here.
Dave.
What's up?
Pleasure, sir.
It is a pleasure to talk to Mr. Dunn.
I always wondered what you looked like. I'd never imagined you with a mustache.
I've had it for decades.
Wow.
It's never gone away.
You know who would never else mustache never went away? My grandmother. Rest in peace. Bless her heart.
She had a
Great
good mustache? Great.
Mustache.
You guys got to introduce yourselves.
Sure, yeah. Well, from left to right, stage left to right.
Or to those listening, right to left.
That's correct.
Yes.
We got Matt Page.
Hi, Matt. My name is Jason.
My name's Jake.
And
And
Jake's off in the distance.
I'm off in the distance, right over here in the corner.
Sadly, our guitar player Dave is missing. He had some other family things to tend to. Oh, also he lives about 40 hours away, so that'll get you 9
And
times
he just
out of
couldn't
10.
go to the trouble to come
I
into
know,
Peterborough.
the nerve. I even offered to pick him up.
We're going to go back into your past, and we're going to talk about Hawk Nelson, because that's the roots of Aid in Effect. Talk about that band, because this is where you and Matt have originated from.
Yeah, and this is a beautiful thing, Dave, because Hawk Nelson's very first radio interview happened in this exact studio that we are sitting in right now. And that is a beautiful thing. And so when you had asked if we'd be interested in coming in, without a doubt, we were like, definitely, let's do this.
And admit how many years ago that was.
2002, so about 8 years ago, yeah.
Or more. 8 plus.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
Music
8
is
plus 8.
easy, math is a struggle.
The struggle is real, my friend.
Talk about how the band joined together. I want to hear.
We were kids in youth group, to be honest. Jason and I and Dave, we were kids in youth group and started jamming after youth group sessions. We weren't the band yet. And, it all started on a rainy night, actually.
Oh, no, don't do an emo song.
And, so anyways, it was youth group, and we ended up playing in the worship band at youth group for a while. And we had a pretty awesome church, and it was really kind of motivating and inspiring for any up-and-coming musicians. So we played in the worship band, but all along, Jason and Dave are great songwriters. So right from the get-go, we were also writing original stuff and kind of combining youth group shows with worship and then doing our own concerts as we traveled.
And switching from doing worship on Sundays to doing pop punk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, because a lot of our influences growing up, one of our favorite bands, I think all of us was MXPX, of course, who had a huge influence on our careers. But, bands like Blink and as well. And we kind of learned to form our own sound. And I remember specifically sitting down as a band meeting, the four of us would sit around and we're like, okay, well, we didn't want to get locked into being that youth group band. Like, can you guys come to our church, play a worship set, and if there's time, you can throw in a couple of your own songs. I was so tired of doing that, and we were just kids, so we made a point to make sure Hawk Nelson was a punk rock band. Like, that was what we were going to be known for, and it worked out for a really long time, and we had a really great run. And I was going to say, sadly, it came to an end, but it hasn't come to an end. It's just evolved. And for those who don't know, Hawk Nelson is actually still going. Daniel, who we started the band with, he continued on with the name, adding some guys to the mix, and they've kind of changed their sound, or their sound has evolved, I guess. And I guess our sound has kind of stayed the same. Maybe we're just not good at growing. But I choose to believe that this is the kind of music that we've all been passionate about since day one, and the creative energy that inspired us to write music from day one has continued on with us. And I know there was a bit of sadness from people when we had left Hawk Nelson, and people missed the punk rock vibe that we brought to the table. And so here we are, as Aid in Effect, bringing that punk rock sound back to the listeners.
Because the change for people that don't realize is that Hawk Nelson went from the pop punk sound really to a soft rock. Quite a change. It's more commercial. And I'm not saying that in a positive way.
Well, no, it's fine. It's not just Hawk Nelson. It's actually a lot of bands, any band that's still making a career out of making music, that is what you have to do. Music is evolving and the industry is evolving. So in order to maintain a career, you have to be played on radio. And unfortunately for radio, that's not going to be the case in probably 5 years. People can access any song they want from any artist they want just by a click of a button on the internet. And that's happening now. So who knows in 5 years if radio, no offense, Dave, but like who knows where radio will be in 5 years. So I'm choosing to believe that in 5 years, people will be able to just download Aid in Effect just by clicking a button, and they don't have to rely on a radio station to hear our music.
You're speaking about evolving, and really that's come through with pop punk because, honestly, it's been a dying genre for the past decade. I know it's nasty, but facts are facts.
Jake is like the most pop punk kid I know. Look at him.
I'm pretty pop punk.
Look at him wearing that
he
purple shirt and the kilt. That's ridiculous, Jake. Honestly, this is a radio interview, not a dance off.
And sandals.
Sandals with socks.
Birds with socks.
Okay, back to you guys. Really, is Aid in Effect just a reincarnation of your youth?
Absolutely
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, for sure.
So I love this story. Matt and Dave, who I hadn't talked to in a long time, right after I left Hawk Nelson, I was living in New York, and I got a Skype call or whatever it was from Matt and Dave. And, you know, to be honest, I was kind of shocked. I was like, whoa, these guys. And we just kind of touched base. And they're like, today was the day that Hawk Nelson's Letters to the President came out 10 years ago. And I was like, no way. That is so insane. Like, it was just cool just to reconnect with the guys, you know. So we just caught up for a little bit. And then they were like, what do you think about maybe just doing like a show? Just to say we did it. It would be fun just to get it and play some punk rock again. And, you know, at that time of my life, I wasn't ready to do that. But I obviously liked the idea. It resounded with me. And then when I moved back home here a few years ago, I was still thinking about it. And I'm like, I'd love to just reconnect with the boys and just play some punk rock again. So I decided to take it one step further and ask them via Facebook. I did a Facebook video, posted it. Everyone had to see it. They had to respond, right? So they did.
You were forcing their hand.
Yeah, I forced their hand. Matt and Dave responded with a big fat, yeah, let's do this. And then we added Jake. Jake and I, we actually lead worship together at our home church here in Peterborough called Pathway. And just getting to know Jake over the years, just watching him play. And I remember telling my wife, I'm like, bet you any money I'm going to play in a band with that guy someday. Just the way he looked, you know, those Crocs and kilt. And, you know, I just...
Pink hair.
The teardrop tattooed on his face. I just, you know...
That clinches it.
Yeah. I just knew, like, he was the one. And so when Daniel decided not to do a reunion show with us, I was like, okay, that's that. Asked Jake, and he was an immediate yes. And the rest is history, as they say.
And Aid in Effect has their first single out.
It does.
Making Things New.
We did.
Which really does share about your past. The first verse of the song says, here we are. It's been a long time since we've talked. Back from the start, we were kids with just a dream to leave a mark heaven sent to shine a light into the dark. We knew our part. Is that Christian view the aim of Aid in Effect?
Absolutely. And it's funny because for so many years in Hawk Nelson, I struggled with that. Because going back to, do we want to be a youth group band or do we want to be a punk rock band? There was a fine line there, you know, and I tried so hard to steer away from the whole church thing. I never ever intended to be a Christian Good Charlotte or a Christian Blink-182, you know, and that's what we were always compared as. I just wanted to be a better version or a comparable version. Like, it would have been my dream to hop on Warped Tour and play those shows with those guys. And obviously, our faith is who we are, but that doesn't define our music, or it didn't anyways. I guess maybe it's just because I'm getting older. The big argument back in the day was, you have a platform to use your voice for God's glory. And I'm like, yeah. Okay, sorry. But I get that now. Mm-hmm. And the fact, even that's why we named this band Aid in Effect, is because we have the ability to make a difference in this world. This is what we were called to do. We were all created to make music. And we're not created to make it for ourselves, although that was fun. We do have an impact on this world, and that kids can be able to listen to this music and relate to it, and they can get something out of it. That's why we do this. And I guess I haven't really made clear, this isn't a career move for us. This isn't oh, I need to make money, I'm going to go back on the road. That's not why we're doing this. This is exactly it. Like,
Well, how can you make money when you're giving your single away?
well, that's exactly it. Like, I don't want to sell this song because I don't know, that always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, why are worship bands selling songs on iTunes when if their mission is to share the gospel, just give your song away if that's really the mission, you know? And I'm not speaking against anyone in particular. I'm just saying that was just kind of my conviction. I was like, if I'm really saying I want to make a difference in the world by selling my music, I don't know, there's kind of a difference there. So I'm like, let's just give it away. So I talked to the guys about like, what do you think about this idea? And they're like, all right, let's, okay, I guess. So that's what we're doing.
Well, why don't we hear the free song? Matt, you get to do the introduction.
All right, this is us, Aid in Effect, with Making Things New.
Just a dream to leave a mark. Heaven sent to shine the light into the dark. We knew our part. Greedy hands reaching out and gripping tight tore us apart. From what we knew we had to do, but others had their own opinions. Money, fame, and all decisions. Now we're left here with the pieces, and you're making all things new. Everything's new. Bruised and broken, they left us for dead on the side of the highway with no mercy left. Weak in a moment that turned into years. The slope got so slippery, we lost all our fears. But whoa, you're making things new. I know everyone inside battles the war, but it's a fight we never thought we'd lose before. I've been reasoning the meaning, but it doesn't seem to change. If we let go, we can soar. Bruised and broken, they left us for dead on the side of the highway with no mercy left. Weak in a moment that turned into years. The slope got so slippery, we lost all our fears. But whoa, you're making things new. Whoa, you're making things new.
The Antidote is live with Aid in Effect in the studio.
Yes, indeed.
Man, live! I just can't believe this. We never have people live here. Because nobody even knows where Peterborough is.
Oh, well, why
right
you
here.
should.
Tell them it's south of Bridgenorth.
Yeah, seriously.
This is going to be strange for you guys putting music out together again. It must be like deja vu.
It's pretty cool. It's funny, actually. We started jamming together once the idea took place, and When musicians who have been playing together since kids, it's almost like you're reading each other's minds when you start jamming and
I knew you were going to say that.
influencing. See, exactly. And yeah, so it was a pretty cool, like, immediate, like, oh my gosh, we formed together as musicians. It had been years since we played together, and it was a really cool reunion of, wow, we still think very similar when we're just creating in the same room together. So yeah, pretty cool.
You were babies when you did it, and now you got babies underfoot.
That's
Yeah, band practice has to fit around babysitters.
100%. Yeah, babysitters and date nights.
That was a joke.
That was a joke.
Final thing,
Yeah.
the band name brings it up totally.
Yeah.
Aid in Effect.
Yeah.
Jason touched on this just a little bit. Okay, so how is your music going to aid your listeners, and what kind of effect will it have?
It's authenticity. You know, it's coming to a point where we're not doing this to sell anything. And so we've got the freedom to just write where we're at. And when anybody is honest, you can help other people feel the freedom to be honest as well. And that's really where life begins and life really transforms. So the aiding is just inspiring other people to speak their minds. And the effect of that is the growth that we all experience when we allow the Lord to help us be honest with other people. So,
Guys, thanks for Aid in Effect for coming into the studio live.
Absolutely.
You can hear Jason, Jake, they've been tuning up, and they've got something for us, but I don't think even Jason and Jake know what it's going to be. So let's find out now.
he's going solo.
Yeah, I so low you can't even hear it. I was a little nervous with this one. This song is brand new. Kind of just.
Oh, don't play a song from Brand New. Play one of your songs.
Oh wow, brand. This is, more of a Thursday song. So I don't even know if I know all the lyrics, but I'm sure it'll come to me naturally. This is a song called Dopamine, and believe it or not, this is a song I had a dream about, and I woke up and I was so mad because I couldn't remember it. And I was like, oh, I should have recorded that on my phone, and I went to bed the next night and it came to me again. So I woke up with my phone and recorded it, and this is it. It's kind of a little flashback to the days of Hawk. So let's try to rewind to those kids in the corner, our lives out of order. We rise from underneath it all, and our hands were dirty with service. Our songs had meaning and purpose. Our hearts were made for something more. 36 days turned to 14 long years. The trials and errors that got us here. And I want you to know we're alright. So let fate decide. I'm fine, but I'm not okay. I tried to be perfect, but just on the surface, our minds were planned to live this way. There are scars, there are wounds, and our hearts they have broken, our minds they have spoken, our lives were made for something more. 36 days turned to 14 long years. The trials and errors that got us here. And I want you to know we're alright. Starting again, making up for lost time. We don't need our name, we got friends on our side. And I want you to know we're alright. And this slow conversation we had on the phone just made me feel that I wasn't alone.
Jonathan Simpson is one of those prolific songwriters who doesn't focus on just one style. One of his projects was that, Wither and Bloom. I've also been a longtime fan of My Epic. The Song of Wilderness comes from their about-to-be-released EP, Ultraviolet. Enjoy this.
Hello, this is Jeremiah.
And this is Aaron from My Epic, and you're hanging out with Dave at The Antidote.
If you wanted me to sort this out, then honey, I will let you down. I know you wanna think it's all worked out, but there are places you don't talk about, and there are things you really need to see beyond the order of your city streets. Out on the edges where the shadows live, something's moving in the wilderness. All of your bricks didn't build it. None of your doubts ever break it. So you can talk all you want. I think we're all lost till we've walked in the wilderness. You know the prophets and the madmen both hear a voice and call the desert home. They swear it's gospel, but you never know. It's only gossip till you go. I know how your garden grows, all the sweat you spent to keep eating such perfect rows. Did you miss the beauty blooming in the wild grove? All of your bricks didn't build it. None of your doubts ever break it. So you can talk all you want. I think we're all lost till we walked in the wilderness. I noticed how your garden grows, all laid out in perfect rows. I noticed how your garden grows. All of your bricks didn't build it. None of your doubts ever break it. So you can bow down all you want. If no one speaks back, are you sure someone's listening? If you got quiet for a moment and finally put your faith where your mouth is, what are you afraid you will hear? I think we're all lost till we've lived in the wilderness. Till we lived in the wilderness. Till we lived in the wilderness. If you wanted me to sort this out, then honey, I will let you down.
My Epic has always pushed the edge, and this time around they've really stretched themselves. They've opted to put out a pair of EPs, each of which is going to look at the same topic, but from different points of view. So I'm really curious to see how that's going to turn out. Next up, we're going to go into the raw and gritty sound of Our Disciples with The War Inside.
lives inside of me. Battle lines are being drawn. You suffocate my faith and the deadly. Ripped up in that sky, stripped and scorned.
That's a change for the Finnish band Poltomerkki. They've been around since 2002, but High Stream is their very first English language song. And we're going to stay on the far side of the Atlantic. Here's a song from Warsaw, Poland's Manta Berostris with La Somme.
Hey, this is Wes from Collision of Innocence, and you're checking in to The Antidote with Dave Hawkins.
Gaze up at the sky, I can see the stars align. The thought that crosses my mind, is this all by chance?
That song has me wanting to fly down to Myrtle Beach to see the new band Collision of Innocence. In Between is a superb track. Something else that's great is coming up right now from Dens.
Oh my God, my head is sick, so full of doubt. Sometimes I don't want to leave this
What a gorgeous new single. Will You Keep Out All the Sadness from Dens shares about allowing ourselves to drown in God's grace. I think the best part of having the Antidote getting into new music is the wide range of styles I was able to pull in on tonight's show. Next week, I do go back to our typical format where I'm joined by Chasing Victory. It's been 11 years since a new release has come from the band, and the Antidote welcomes back Chasing Victory as I speak with band members Adam Harrell and Michael Lamb about their music history, their new EP, and their future. Earlier on, I'd said that tonight would be only new music. Well, I lied. Infirmities recorded a song in 2015 but never released it. The band's frontman Jason is a cool guy and allowed me to share the track Social Chaos. Enjoy this, and I'll see you again next week.